You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAK Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode. Damn it.
Not even close.
It took too long. God damn it, Jack Black. Too long. Hello again. Well, you're listening to It Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 183. We're recording this on Monday, September 9th. You'll be hearing this on Friday, September 13th.
You'll be remembering us.
You'll be remembering me by.
I mean, this is a big day, Gavin, because I have a few things about this. Let me just say, because I'm not totally super happy about it. Because for those who don't know, Gavin currently is in Washington, and which is weird because when you fly to Washington, I'm pretty sure you have to do a layover, usually in LAX. So I was thinking you would maybe let me know before you flew up to Washington. But that's why your scenery is different for those watching at home.
No, this is.
But it's so cool. The Redlands, dude. I mean, have you been able to do anything in Washington yet, or just work? Like, what do you? How is it? How's the wet? It's probably pretty cold too. It's almost Canada up there.
Hey, Carson, it's not Washington State. It's
DC.
Washington was. No, it's Washington, Missouri. I don't know if you noticed that arch in the background.
Oh, I just thought you brought that from home.
Well, I did. These are usually I keep these tucked away. That view does not exist anymore. It's all connected now. By the way, for those if you can see that at home.
So it's fake news.
It's an outdated photo.
Oh, they just did that. So wait, okay,
it doesn't even have Ballpark Village. It doesn't even have Ballpark Village.
You're not in the state. You're not in Washington State.
No. I'm an hour south of St. Charles.
Huh.
Yeah.
That changes everything. I had a whole thing planned. We were gonna talk about the Seahawks, and we were gonna talk about the history.
Did you see their uniforms they wore?
No, I didn't. Are they bad?
Okay.
Hold on.
No, they're great. I love them. They're 1976 uniforms.
Wait,
look
not
up.
the ones this year?
Not the ones this year. They did where they
year.
started out the season with their really old ones, like throwback. Look up Seahawks throwback unions.
Hold on. What was that?
I'm not Washington State, by the way. For those at home, not at Washington State.
I'm really disappointed in that because I was really excited, but I guess we'll do. Oh yeah, I love those colors, like Timberwolves colors, old Timberwolves.
Yeah, they
colors.
are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
How are the Seahawks this year?
I think they won. I don't know. I don't remember.
All right, big football guy, I thought.
Well, I'm in it for the players. Yeah, they won.
Ooh. Hey guys, welcome. Did you want to show? I mean, do you want to? Is there any? I mean, I know you just set up your camera, so you probably don't want to move it around and show.
Well, actually, I have it. I have it leaning up against something now. So, but
if you want to show, I mean, you know.
No, I'm cool. It's
No, I know you have
no
a great
carpet
view.
here. No carpet in here, which is bonus.
No carpet. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever stayed in a hotel that didn't have carpet.
Yeah,
Hardwood?
no carpet.
Can you tilt it down for me at least to show the no carpet?
Yeah. Well, I'm showing them now.
Oh, now you're showing. Now he's committed to it.
I just had Taco Bell, but yeah, it's
which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah, two beds. It's a really kind of a small TV, if you ask me. But what do I know?
It's a really old and outdated too. I bet it is.
It's not. It's got to be 10 years old. It's not like 20 years old,
Okay.
but it definitely has it's definitely a pretty clear picture.
Oh, now he's showing me. Oh, okay, yeah, like a vinyl floor.
Yeah.
That looks exactly like the flooring I had in my first apartment.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Probably pretty same. Probably just as cheap as that one was too.
Nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh.
Quality. This is quality.
Nuh-uh. My brother's a floorer. Sorry, that sounded like the kid that lives next door. This week, folks, boy, oh boy, we have so much to get to. We had
Carson, what do we got on the docket today?
Seems like there's a little delay. We have so much to get to this week. We had to kill a few darlings off, including Next Door Drama.
Send them out back.
No Next Door Drama this week. We're skipping that. Taking a week off. Done like fucking 4 or 5 in a row, I think. But we have a big taste test this week. Here's a little hint, even though I'm going to tell you what it is in like 5 seconds. With the Taco Bell Baja Blast Gelato.
The Baja.
Baja.
The Baja Blast.
The Baja. Shout out Will
Baja
Sasso.
Blast.
Which I'm really excited for. I didn't even know we were going to be able to do this or not because like it just came out
I'm in a remote location.
That too, but it just came out last week and the word on the street is that it was going to be like super hard to get. Like Taco Bells were like limited to only a few. I'm hearing like a buzzing. Are you hearing that? Oh, I think it's you.
It just went away.
Yeah, it did. You did something and then it went away. That was weird. Hey, looking at hey.
Hey, look at me.
They were saying it was like limited. That's racist. They were saying it was really no. It's George Lucas. He's the problem. That was your Watto impression.
Yeah.
And it was super limited, and like they were saying nobody's gonna be able to get it. I went to Taco Bell last night, unprompted, wasn't planning on it, and I was able to order it and get it. So I was like, well, fuck it. Let me see if Gavin can, because otherwise I'm eating this when I get home. And he was, so here we are. Super excited for that. We have, of course, going to be talking about the Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Benny Johnson being uncovered as Russian spies.
And I appreciate your write-up you did on this. I did read it.
I dove deep.
I'm excited. Yeah,
I had some time this weekend.
I'll say.
That's why I had so many like ideas that I put in here because I was just like, "Ooh, we could do that. Ooh, we could do this." And then I have a little stupid, pointless story of the week about a croissant lamp going viral on TikTok. Have you seen this at all? No, that's surprising.
Not that I'm aware of.
The first time, put this in the Wikipedia, that I have found out about a TikTok thing going viral before Gavin did.
I think I also noted there was someone else that I follow or I saw on my For You page. I was on TikTok a lot this week because I was on break. So I saw a lot of shit. Maybe I saw the croissant lamp, but I don't remember because I was sleeping all the fucking time.
We'll find out.
But yeah, I found out there's a guy who his bit is that he has trench foot and that he's really like gross and greasy and disgusting. That's his bit, and I didn't realize who he was until someone like, I mean, it's not that he's like a real, like a famous person, but he was like, this person's definitely playing a bit. It's satire, but like this person is disgusting, and he keeps showing off this like trench foot he has. But it's like it's definitely like just like like a plastic foot or like something you can put over your foot to make it look like because he doesn't ever wiggle his toes or anything. It's all just like a static like foot.
Yeah, if you have trench foot, I don't know if you might not be able to move your foot at a certain point.
Well, I think it's a bit, but that was the first time I had heard about that. Fun. So I believe that TikTok is a lot larger than I think it even is.
Yeah, because I found out about this not from TikTok. It was like a UK. It was like Pop Crave for the UK. Because it's a UK person. What do you call him? And then
I call him something. Well, not so very nice.
I call them a word I cannot say on the internet. Gavin has a Techno World, the big return. I think it's been a while since a Techno World happened, but because the Apple Keynote, that's the word. What's today? Today, right? It was this morning?
Yeah, it was this morning, 10 o'clock your time.
10 o'clock my time, baby.
Cupertino.
Shout out Cupertino one time. And then a big Carson Cinema Corner because I just saw, speaking of this little bastard, the new Beetlejuice movie. And the day before, 2 days before, Gavin and I we did our first ever Discord movie night, which we teased doing on the podcast. And it was a smashing success. I still don't know what trickery Gavin did to get it working.
I turned off the hardware acceleration on Google Chrome.
Don't tell people you hacked your computer. So that was really fun. We're definitely going to be doing that a lot more. But so Gavin saw the original Beetlejuice for the first time. That was like my third time seeing it. So we can compare. I know Gavin did a lot of notes on it, so we can talk about that. We can talk about the Minecraft movie trailer, and then I've seen a whole other slew of movies over the past month. I like just that. That I can kind of talk about, and then what you listen to.
That's a long
Let's
docket.
get into it.
Let's get into it. I'm ready. I'm hungry.
I'm ready.
I'm hungry.
I'm gonna do my unboxing. Well, first of all, I wanted to talk about this real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead. I
this-
do not have my what's it called
Do not
stand,
disturb.
so I'm going freehand.
Going free balling it. So real quick, I showed this off for a second. I'll show it to you, Gavin. This is a new Fanta flavor out right now for the new Beetlejuice movie. And I thought it was just an apple flavor. They're calling it Haunted Apple. I tried it last night because I was like, I didn't want you to have to get another taste test, and I didn't know if you'd be able to find this one or not.
There's a Schnucks right down the street.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't. It was already enough, and yeah. I'm saying all these things as an excuse because I really just wanted to drink it. I was so excited about it.
Yeah, you're just making excuses for yourself, man.
No, I literally am. And I got home and I tried it. I'll try it again right now because I was whenever I tried it the first time, so I want to try it again. But it's like a caramel apple Fanta. No, it's very weird, but it's good.
I'm not sure I would like apple soda.
I feel like it's something you probably wouldn't like. But I like it.
Does it taste like
weird.
fake apple? Is it like that fake like green apples like taste?
Not as much. It's like a little apple, and then the caramel hits you, like overpowers it. And the caramel's a little weird because it does taste like a candle, because you can't really do caramel flavoring without it tasting like a candle. But I don't know. I like it. I won't lie. It's fun. It's fun for the holiday season. A little early, but especially considering it was 110 degrees here over the weekend.
Well, it got down to a crisp like 55.
Yeah, dude, I saw bastards out there wearing jackets and stuff. I was like, damn, I'm missing out, aren't I? So I've just opened it up. It looks like Play-Doh.
Did you notice this?
I did, yeah, because he's like the spoon's included.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I was like, did they not give me a fucking spoon?
Oh, you didn't.
So I went down to the front desk and I asked the guy for a spoon.
Oh, really? The guy specifically told me.
I was like, hey, can I get a spoon?
This Taco Bell,
yeah, here you go.
The Taco Bell near me, rated really low on Yelp, like a 2.0. It was like the best Taco Bell I've ever been to. They like loaded all my shit up. The guy was super nice. It was like
I was gonna say the
9
same
PM.
thing. This one is literally like in the same parking lot. No joke. There is a DQ.
Yeah.
10 steps away from this. Like no joke. I could walk there in 10 seconds at the front door. In the same parking lot, no grass, nothing. It's just all one parking lot. And then it's at the other end of the parking lot is a Taco Bell and a KFC. And like a Big Lots and like a mattress store and a Mercy thing.
And was it a good Taco Bell?
Yeah, they were on top of it. Yeah. And they actually did load up my shit. I asked for no lettuce, and it seems like they replaced the lettuce on my cheese gordita crunch with more meat.
And I always thought that
that's incredible.
Our local Taco Bell was like the best, but I don't know, man. It's getting topped out here.
Agree.
Well, let's do it. It's not. So first of all,
it's not ice cream. It's gelato.
Yeah, but it's also. I'm assuming you've had gelato before.
Yes.
Gelato is usually really creamy. This is like really like mine's like really crumbly.
Oh, mine's creamy.
Maybe because you put yours in the fridge. I put mine in the freezer all night. So maybe that has to do with it?
No, I did mine in like the mini fridge, like compartment freezer.
Okay, so Gavin's got the right idea. Mine's don't judge mine. Let's do it though. I'm ready. Whoa,
It's pretty good.
that's very weird. It's weird to be tasting Baja Blast in like a ice cream form.
Does this have caffeine in it?
Is that a problem?
I can't be up my phone.
Caffeine free.
Wow.
Caffeine free syrup. I literally Looked on the back, and that's the first thing I saw.
Neat.
Does contain
that
milk.
was. Oh fuck. No, I really like gelato.
I really do. And it's like
I've had my fair share of gelatos.
it's also like a very traditional gelato spoon, not
Yeah,
like what
see, look
Gavin's
how-
using.
Look how like creamy that is.
Yeah, mine's like
Very
I'm getting like
chunky.
chunks.
It's chunky.
Still good though. But I gotta say,
This is so small.
that's what I wanted to
I
say.
thought that was the first thing I noticed. That's why I was going to
$4.
Yeah, it's $4 there, and it's $4 here.
$4 for this fucking Dixie cup ass. It's a gimmick. I mean, it's a gimmick. It's not.
Yeah. It's not.
You're
supposed
not
to be
gonna.
like-
This isn't like something you're
You're
gonna.
not
be
like buying a pint of gelato.
No, and you're not like, oh man, I really got to get a Taco Bell and get that gelato. I'm so hungry, I'm craving it.
Oh man, I love gelato.
Yeah, but like, are you craving this gelato? Hold
I'm
on.
craving any gelato, fam.
But for $4, you get
$4.
well before y'all, you can get a pint of gelato at like Target or Walmart for $4. I bet. And I'll put my goddamn money on
Actually, can't the exorbitant prices of groceries.
that. No, dude, they're going down. You didn't hear inflation's gone. They took it away.
This actually, if you want to know just how fast they're doing it, look up Sonic inflation.
The hedgehog?
No, it's like it's just so fast that it's like Sonic fast. You know, it's super Sonic.
Are you
Go look
spreading
up Sonic
rumors?
inflation.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. I'm pretty much just trying to eat this whole thing right now so I don't have to go put it away. Oh, they're doing a good job at it. I'm sure people at home love what is happening right now.
I mean, we're not the only people who eat on YouTube.
That is true. People make their whole career out of
Speaking
it.
of, did you see Nikado Avocado? Maybe you have played.
Nikado.
Is that what it is?
It's Nick Acado.
Well, whatever.
Nikado.
Nikado Avocado.
I thought it was a misspeak. Nikado.
No, that's what I thought it was.
Hey, Nikado. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
know,
he good for him? Question mark. Some people were
Yeah,
saying
man,
that he
I don't know,
retroactively
man.
filled a lot of these videos, but we'll see.
I'm
Skeptical.
well, and I'm just like, I don't know, something so
He's just a
uncomfortable
hater.
about it. There's something
He's getting every
so
last drop.
as a overweight man myself, you know, been dealing with that my whole life. It's just very odd and uncomfortable to watch so many people obsess about another person's weight,
Yeah.
and then for that to go away, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you,"
Yeah.
and it's just like,
Kind of odd.
also he looks very sickly.
That was the other thing I noticed was that it might just be the lighting comparatively, but he did. Well, also it doesn't help that he shaved his head. So
Yeah, that was weird too. I was like, what? Very odd. I don't know.
odd character that Nikado.
The whole Nikado. Hey, Nikado.
Hey, Nikado.
Hey, Nikado, are you gonna be at Mia Madre's house for dinner?
What do you say, huh?
I finished my whole thing.
Me too.
Looks like I just got done sucking
Dude,
off a Smurf.
do you remember? Do you remember Albert Einstein?
Was he a YouTuber? Did he collab with Nikado?
Yeah, actually,
Nikado.
did Nikado?
Gavin, I gotta confess something.
What's that?
God damn it. God fucking damn it, dude.
This is gonna be the boy who cried wolf.
I did a bad thing. I might have done a bad thing this weekend.
You said Haktua.
God damn it. Looking at Michael Myers. Mike Myers is over here. I invited him over. He's gonna him and I are gonna do a Jiminy Glick video later. God damn it, dude. Fuck.
What'd you do, man?
Well, I went.
Mods, crush your skull. Thank you.
I went to go play disc golf. I know, big surprise this weekend.
Big whoop.
And then I went to the beach, and it was beautiful. But before that, I went to go play disc golf, and I was up in Santa Clatoris. That's what I
Santa
decided to
Clarita
call it.
Diet.
Yeah, Santa Clarita Diet. I call it Santa Clatoris though, because it's
both.
very pleasurable if you touch it nice. And this is a very serious moment, dude.
I'm sorry.
Come on, dude. This is very serious. And I was getting off the exit ramp, my exit, to go to the course. And it was like one of those exits where it's like a big, like, horseshoe shape. You go real slow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy pulled off onto the side. His car looked fine. He just had his
Hazards on.
Hazards on. And he was
The
like
blinkers.
in front of his car. And he was like trying to like wave me down. And I was like, oh shit, do I stop? And then immediately my mind was like, nope, I've heard way too many horror stories of people pulling over to help somebody and then getting robbed. So I was like, I stared him dead in the eyes and I kept driving. And I was like, oof.
That's the bad thing you did?
Yeah, that was a bad, because I was like, I don't know. I'm like, because then I was like, it is the middle of the fucking day. Is anybody really going to be robbing someone in the middle of the day? But there was like multiple cars behind me and nobody stopped for him. So I was like, okay, I feel vindicated.
Now,
But
if
also
someone doesn't stop for
it's-
you on the side of the road.
But that's the thing that I also thought about too, is I was like, in a day and age where everybody has cell phones and like
someone.
there's always a way to get in contact with somebody. Like, I don't know what emergent, like there's a few situations I can think of where I would need to flag somebody down. Otherwise I would just call somebody. Like,
If my car's on fire, I would maybe call 911 first.
yeah. And also if my car's on fire, people will see that and hopefully pull over,
Stop.
like that's enough to show people that I need help. So I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I just hope if that guy's listening, I'm sorry. If you're trying to rob me, I'm also sorry.
That was me, asshole.
I mean, if you did rob me, you wouldn't have been getting much at all. I can promise you that. I would have closed all my cards immediately, and I
Good.
don't carry much cash. You would have gotten like maybe $30, I think, at that time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just felt bad. I'm glad that you're not like. I thought you were gonna be like, really, dude, you didn't stop for him, but it seems like you're in agreement.
No, I have thought about stopping for people, but most of the time I would say they might even just wave me on and just be like,
Nah,
I
he's
already
not gonna
called
do
someone.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Or
this guy
and
was
like I don't have like, battery fucking, those things that you put on the
Jumper
fucking
cables.
Yeah, I don't have those.
But I should also say, he wasn't just waving me down. He was like frantically,
Oh, okay.
like he was like I kid you, like it was like
Well, you probably would have looked at the engine and be like, "Yep, you should call someone."
right. Well, that's the thing is I was like, I don't know what can I. But
What
what's
would
the
you have said that would have made a
franticness about it?
difference?
Because I was like the franticness. I was like, maybe there's someone in the car that needs help, but then it's also like,
I'm not about to
gonna
deliver a
able
baby.
to do? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, is
You're
he
gonna be like Men in Black.
But then again, if it's like a medical emergency, you don't want just
Go to
some
the
random.
hospital.
Yeah, call. Yeah,
Call
you have a
911.
car. You have a car and drive somewhere. Like, I don't know. It was just he was very frantic though, and that's what made me go like, fuck. Maybe he really. But I'm like, I don't know. It's California. There's a lot of actors here. He could have been faking. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I just felt bad, and I just had to get that off my chest. So you said on Friday,
Yes, it was Friday.
you sent me a picture of you and your brother at the Cardinals game
Uh-huh.
with someone who you told me was a famous comedian, and I was like, I had only heard his name. I didn't even know who he was. So tell me about this.
Yeah, so
You got new friends, huh?
Yeah, I got new friends. I got a lot of friends in low places. Unfortunately, Carson, this is the bad thing I did. I didn't plug our podcast to this comedian. I'm sorry. But yeah, so me and my brother and my father went to the Cardinal game on Friday.
Oh,
I
your
dressed
dad?
in full Yeah, my dad went. I dressed in full Mariner gear.
Now let's stop right there. Why?
I had full Mariner gear, and I like the Mariners.
More than the Cardinals, though?
Well, it was like, I'm not going to travel to Seattle to watch the freaking Mariners.
Yeah, but you're
They're
gonna
gonna come to me.
You're gonna cosplay as a Mariners fan just to be cute.
It was fun.
You
Yeah,
think
it
you're
was fun.
cute, don't you?
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna go to a Dodgers game? Dodgers versus the Cardinals at. Let's just say this: Dodgers versus the Cardinals.
At Dodger
Yeah,
Stadium.
but I would probably. I might. If I'm going by myself, I'm not wearing full Cardinals. If I'm going with you guys, I'm wearing full Cardinals gear. If
Yeah.
I'm going with somebody from LA who's a Dodgers fan, I'm not wearing any Cardinals gear. If I'm going by myself, I'm definitely not wearing Cardinals gear. In St. Louis,
Well, yeah, I went with other Cardinals fans.
but I was gonna say,
And to be fair, I was not the only Mariners fan there. Let me express this. There was a whole goddamn section full of Mariners fans. And not only that, but we'll get to this. The comedian that me and my brother met was Adam Ray. He's from Seattle. So,
was he
checkmate.
wearing any Mariners?
yes, he
gear,
was.
though?
He was wearing Mariners gear in the picture.
The shirt. That's right. He had a shirt
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Piece of shit.
Okay, so you're a
You,
big
not
Mariners.
you, not Adam Ray.
Well,
But yeah, so I was sitting. Sean and Dad went to go get some food, and I was like, nah, I'm not really hungry. I'm like, just give me a beer. I'm watching the game.
typical Mariners fan.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and then I get a phone call from Sean, and I thought it was going to be something along the lines of like, hey, like they don't have, Bud Select here or whatever at the location. I'm like, okay, well, what else do you want? But he's like, Gavin, I think you should come up here. There's a comedian that I recognize.
And
I
he
was
wants
like,
to talk to you.
yeah. He's like, I think you would like to meet him. And I'm like, okay. So I went up there. That wasn't the exact phrasing, but it was something along the lines of like, it was mysterious. He didn't tell me who it was. And so I got up there and I was like, Sean was talking to him and he's like, hey, what's your name? And I'm like, I'm Gavin. And I almost wanted to be like, and what's your name?
Yeah. Who are you?
Because at first I didn't recognize him. I didn't recognize him at all.
Right.
Because I had only seen him, for those who are wondering, Adam Ray is he's a stand-up comedian. For most people, I think our age, know him from doing Dr. Phil impressions on stage with Kill Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like the Dr. Phil guy, basically. He does an impeccable Dr. Phil. And he is...
Never seen it.
Yeah. It's great. I'll have to send it to you. I meant to send it to you.
I only know of Adam Ray of just hearing other comedians be like, I'm doing a show with Adam Ray on like their podcast like 6 years ago.
Right.
That's the only reason I know.
And he, very funny guy. He was super nice. Oh my gosh, he was super duper nice. And he even asked me, like, he's like, oh, you're from St. Louis. Like, he saw me and my brother and my dad all wearing Cardinals gear, or my dad and my brother wearing Cardinals gear, and I'm wearing Mariners gear. And he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I'm from St. Louis, but
I just want to
really
be cute because I'm an asshole.
Yeah, that's why. No other reason that I have like any type of like passion for the game or anything like that. No, nothing at all.
I'm just hey, I'm Gavin. I'm just a jackass.
Jackass. Yeah. I'm doing it because I want to piss off people. That's what I like to do.
I'm trying to
I'm
trigger
trolling.
the libs.
Yeah. And we had, and so I told him, I was like, yeah, there was an SB Nation documentary during COVID I watched, and like, it fascinated me. And he's like, what about it fascinated you? I'm like, well, just the tragedy of the game to the Seattle Mariners. Like, they're tragically bad. They have had such a tragic history. Obviously they had a couple of really good seasons. They literally like tied the record for most wins in a season in like 2001, I believe. But yeah, they're very tragic team. They always barely missed it. They had like the longest playoff drought in, after the Cubs went to the World Series. They have like the longest World Series drought, I think, technically, because they've never been. Yeah, so it was, that's my story as to why I like the Mariners. Fucker. But yeah, so talking to him was great. He's a super nice guy. He told us
awesome.
that he had a show at City Winery the next day, and hopefully that show went well for him.
He didn't offer any guest lists.
No. I didn't ask.
Real great guy.
Well, Sean was going to Phoenix, and I was going to a wedding, so I was like, yeah. there was no room for us to ask.
He's like, hey
him,
man, I can get you guys on the guest list, and you're like, no, it's okay.
No, it's okay. I don't want to. I don't want to look at you anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, and then I'll just go into the next thing.
Well, I was just, I mean, just if we can just stop right there
Yeah.
for a second. I mean, that's awesome that I don't know anything about him.
Yeah,
but
Sean recognized him. He was like,
that's also
I think
very
that's a comedian.
weird to me.
He was like,
Sean
he's like,
knew who he was.
Yeah, and I was saying, he's like, I've seen this guy before, and like he was looking at him, and Adam like turned, and he's like, like they both made eye contact, and then Sean did and then he was like, then like he smiled, and Adam came over, and then he's like, oh yeah, that's definitely who that is. Like he was like looking at him from afar, and he's like, is that who I think it is? And it's like, yeah, that was him, and he threw out the first pitch that day, so that was why he was there.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and no one else had stopped him. No one else
that which
had
is
noticed
weird.
it. Yeah. No one else was like gathered around or anything. It was.
So did Sean say what's up, Adam, when he walked over?
Yeah.
Or was it just
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, hey, how's it going, man? And he's like, I thought I recognized you.
Yeah.
So
That's
it was
funny.
very, very, very fascinating. But yeah, it was super nice guy. I mean, that was like, I was ready to chop it up with him. He said my dad mentioned that you worked on the podcast with Tim.
Okay.
And because everybody's got to brag on everybody. Got to keep
like
all of
that.
our keep the whole group fed.
Shout out Phil.
And he was like, he turned to dad. He's like, that's a great story, Phil. He's like, but anyway, so
What made your dad bring that up?
Just because he was like, I do with this comedy group, and he's like, oh, do you know this guy?
Oh, your
like, do you
dad
know
was
Tim?
like, do you know?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He was like, no, I've never worked with him, but yeah, I'm familiar with his stuff.
Interesting.
He's like, yeah, Tim and Eric, that kind of thing. And I went, yeah, you got it, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask more questions about that. Because
Yeah.
this is new information to me.
I did not. I did not have any. He did not say anything else about it. He was just kind of like, oh, I've never worked with him before, but yeah, they got great stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I mean, it seems positive. It could have just been nice. The only reason I say that is because maybe it was a few episodes in a row that Tim made fun of Tony Hinchcliffe. So I can't imagine that, if they're aware of that, which I would imagine they probably are to some degree, that maybe they're not the biggest.
He might just be associated with it. He may not be on the show all the time. So,
and that's true. Adam's kind of more disconnect. It's not like it was Tony Hinchcliffe that you were talking to.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Adam who could have his own opinions.
Right. Exactly. So, but yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
Yeah. So then. And then you said you were segueing, and then I stopped you. I apologize.
Yeah. The segue went back to St. Louis again, and went to a wedding. This is my second official wedding I guess technically my third, but
congratulations.
Third official wedding as an adult.
So do I have to get you a gift for this?
Yeah, you do. I have a wedding registry on my website.
Okay. Maybe because I might be getting rid of my. I don't know. I'm considering doing something different with my website. And I kind of just want to do stupid stuff like that. I'll just start a wedding registry.
Yeah.
But it's just for me.
It's just for stuff that you want.
Yeah.
That might just be, we'll get into that later.
Okay.
But yeah, so I went to a wedding of two friends of mine, and congratulations to Lizzie and Alex. If you guys are listening, I know it's on occasion a clip will come up and they mention it. Met with some old friends. There were a lot of no joke old friends that were at this wedding that I hadn't seen in at least 2 years because they all graduated like 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
So getting an update from all of them and updating them on what I'm doing was fantastic. I had a great time. I didn't get stone cold drunk, but I did have a lot of alcohol, but I wasn't like feeling buzzed like the entire night.
Interesting.
So like. It was amaretto sours basically, and amaretto sour doesn't like get you fucked up. It just gets you kind of like tipsy all night. So I was just
true.
Mildly inebriated every hour on the hour.
They're not quite as strong as other.
Yeah, and I saw one of my
liquids.
coworkers there. It was odd. It's pharmacy is a small world up here in St. Louis. Oh.
Well, you're not in St. Louis anymore.
I'm not in St. Louis anymore. I'm in Washington.
I like that Washington's cosplaying as St. Louis with the arch. And
it's
stuff.
a 55-minute drive to St. Louis from here. So,
but I guess that's the closest big city, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is Springfield close?
No. It's not even. It's I think the closest would be like
Springfield's
Jefferson
like
City.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Jefferson City or maybe Columbia. I would maybe a Mizzou posters in another
That's
room.
true. Yeah, they could have. They could be different themed
Wentzville.
rooms.
What's there in Wentzville to do?
You know.
Stuff. So, but yeah. So, yeah, I had a great weekend
Fuck yeah,
and then
dude.
worked the next day.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and now I started on my new module 4, my Gen Med at Mercy, Washington. So.
and we talked a little before, and it sounds like you're
Oh yeah,
enjoying
I'm
it,
amped.
which is
I'm
good
ready to
because
go.
I would hate for you to have to go like 50 minutes or an hour out of your way, get a hotel, and then it's like you're doing nothing, and they're not. you're
Yeah,
not
no,
getting
it's
anything.
fantastic. It's already off to a great start.
Yeah, I love that. I love it, dude. I want to another thing I saw. What was that? Yesterday? Was it announced? I think so, or 2 days ago, that Kendrick Lamar will be playing Super Bowl.
I did
next
see
year,
that.
which is
Yeah,
crazy.
congratulations to Drake for launching this man's career back into the limelight.
Back into
Congratulations,
like
Drake.
yeah, back into like the
Like 2013 levels, like
yeah.
2014 levels of fame here.
Right, because people, I mean, obviously, like the hip hop fans know Kendrick, love Kendrick, but like, it's crazy for the general populace for it to be him to be that well known that they're like, hey man, you want to do the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Like that was crazy to me to see that. I was very surprised.
I
And
was
I think you're right.
really
I think it
amped.
had to do with that. And I was just like,
Congratulations.
as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, Drake is so mad right now. He's pissed. Because like
Drake is Canadian, so how
true,
pissed?
but like Drake
He's
is
a pretty big sports fan.
yeah, and I'll just say, yeah, he's gambling his life away. I'll also just say this. Obviously I love Kendrick. I can't say a bad thing about him, especially living in LA, or I will die. But I do genuinely like Kendrick. But like, we all got to be honest here for a second. Drake is way more well known than Kendrick.
No, I would
You know
agree.
what I mean?
I think
I hate
this
to say it.
summer-
I don't like saying that.
No, I don't think anyone.
But like,
does.
I think it would make way more sense for Drake to do the Super Bowl than Kendrick. Unless, now this is where I'm going to go on a little tangent here for a second, so bear with me. Unless, if my only thing that kind of annoys me, and it annoys me every year, and once I gained a real conscience in college, what kind of annoys me is that I hate that they don't pick an act that's like specific to the city they're doing the Super Bowl in. Like, if you're doing
Yeah.
Kendrick, wait until it comes back to LA. It's going to be back in LA. The Super Bowl will be back in LA in like a matter
I
of a
think
few
2020
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just have him do it then. That makes way more sense. They're doing it in New Orleans. He has nothing to do with New Orleans. People were saying, get Lil Wayne. Now, the good thing is that Kendrick has the decisions to bring on certain people. And if he
Right.
doesn't bring out Lil Wayne, then that is really fucking stupid. And there's so many other great artists from New Orleans, if I may just point out. That's just one annoyance I have. Again, nothing against Kendrick. It just
So I think at least the NBA All-Star Game does something like that. It's not the Super
Okay.
Bowl, but they do at the All-Star Game. If they're hosting it in the city, they try to get an artist from the city
I
and
would
have
hope
people from
so.
the city host,
right.
stuff.
It's just always the Super Bowl halftime show is always so fucking random.
Yeah, and like
It's like,
who
what
was
are
it
we
last
doing?
year?
It was something. What was it last year? Was it? It wasn't Rihanna last year, was it?
I think it was.
I'm looking it up.
Now I think about it. I think it was Rihanna.
Which, like,
And then 2 years ago, I think it was Snoop Dogg.
it was Rihanna. And listen, she did good, but it was like she kind of she was sort of kind of in, the pop culture at the time. But
Right.
I unfortunately, I think that just had to do a lot with being married to Ace or dating ASAP Rocky or whatever. So, but it just always feels so random. I was going to look up what the year before was, because it just seems like every year it's like, what? Like, what are we doing? Yeah, Rihanna last year, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. Oh, and Kendrick. I was actually at that one in 2022.
That one was in LA.
Yeah, and Kendrick came out for that, which was
Yeah.
good. They gave their nod to that. And then The Weeknd was the year before, which I was
Yeah.
like. And then the weird one, Shakira and J-Lo in 2020. Like, what? Nobody gives a fuck. Like, what are we doing? I love that.
Hey, good for Kendrick though.
I'm not gonna go over anymore, but Maroon 5 2019. What
What a fucking
what
ride.
a good choice that was. That panned out really well.
What a ride.
Oh god.
What a team. What a ride.
Just not a. I don't know. It's just very weird. Anyways, I really want to dig into this Russian spy hullabaloo going on. We were just finishing up. We just finished watching Beetlejuice, and I was high. I'll admit it. I was stoned, and Gavin said something to me, and I was like immediately snapped Snowber, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And immediately, we both went silent, reading up on this.
Yeah, we're like, hold on.
And that is that a Russian. Some Russian, I don't even know what's the word I'm looking for. Russian
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, some Russian, like, I don't know, hired by the Russian government were paying this company, Tenant Media Company in Tennessee, to have them like sponsor some of their clients to create pro-Russian content.
Right.
And it was found, and the U.S. Justice Department found out about it, did a whole indictment on them, and did a whole report about it. And the people included in that were Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Benny Johnson. Tim Pool, of course, probably the most well-known out of those three, out of the big three. And as a right-wing media personality, has his own show, Timcast. Wears a beanie. He's just
he wears a beanie in every setting. He was like in a tropical place with a suit on, and he still wore a fucking beanie.
Well, and you know why, right?
Because he's bald as hell.
Yeah, that boy worse than
he's bald
than George Costanza. And then Dave Rubin, another media personality who's just the biggest fucking idiot pushover ever. He's just such a fucking loser. Like, nobody likes him.
Who's that? Dave Rubin?
Yeah. Literally nobody likes him. Jordan Peterson literally described him as just a married gay guy at one point. Like, they don't even like him. Nobody likes him. He's such a pushover. And like,
is he just like have money, and they're like, well, he's got money, so
probably. But he's like, they like him because he's gay. And he's not conservative. He says he's libertarian, but he's very right wing and falls into that media line. But they like him because he's gay, and they can shit on him for being gay.
Well, I like him.
Yeah, they can shit on him for being gay, and he's like, yeah, no, I get it, I understand. Like, that's just how. Like, he's literally like that. Like, he's just a fucking pushover. He's such a loser. And then Benny Johnson, who I don't know anything about besides that I get his tweets sent to my phone all day long. I'm just like, here's what's going on in California. Not to be specific to California, but like this, the shooter was identified as it's like, it's just like the bullshit things that he tweets out. But for whatever reason, Twitter thinks I really want to see that.
I think I've seen his tweets as well. I think he's come up many a time. And so many people forget that these people, especially those people on the right, make a profit from this misinformation that they make a profit from people seeing those tweets. And I think people need to realize you just need to take a screenshot of it. You don't need to quote tweet it,
right?
Because even the quote tweets will get counted as like impressions. So
I mean, it's literally the one that I saw most recently, and I was like, why the fuck am I seeing this? And I should have blocked him, and I didn't. But it was like pictures of like deteriorating Earth, and it was literally like the tweet was about how California is falling apart, like literal cracks in the ground in California. And I'm like, yeah, man, like earthquakes, sinkhole, like what it happens everywhere. Like what?
Yeah, everywhere is fucking sinking.
I'm like, I walk outside my door and I'm like, everything's fine.
I
It's
saw
normal.
I saw a clip on TikTok this weekend. Brief tangent here, where people in Venice are just walking around in like a foot of water. They're just walking around in it. Like
Venice,
it's just
California?
No. Venice, Italy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Venice
it's been
is-
sinking for a long time. Speaking of sinking
Uh-huh.
and water levels rising.
Yeah.
Venice should be the one that you're fucking talking
Right.
about, not goddamn California just for the fucking
Like-
clicks, you dickhole.
Right, exactly. California. I mean, like literally, it's I mean, I talked about it.
I think
I
that
talk-
was California.
That's our time has come. You just see me start sinking slowly, flames coming up. Yeah, I mean, it's like everybody I know who's like our parents' age. When I was like, I'm moving to California, they were like, "What
That hellhole?"
why?" Like, I'm not joking. Yes, not joking. They were like, "What? What are you doing?" Yeah. They were like, "Why? It's crazy out there." And I'm like, "No, it's not. Like, you gotta turn the TV off. You gotta turn the go do anything.
Literally anything.
Like, you don't know what you're talking about." And it's not the whole like
You're crazy.
Shit happens
You're
everywhere. I've only been here for a month. Shout out. But like I've seen crazier shit at home. Granted, I've lived in, it's the St. Louis area for 24 years of my life.
Right.
And I'm sure I'll see crazy shit out here, but I've seen way crazier shit that like I'm sure I will never see here. Like it's yeah. So anyways, I mean, it's just a talking point. But back to the big story.
I love democracy.
I'm going to read from my write-up here, which I got from, I didn't link what website I got it from. I don't know. I got it from a few different sources, but so the U.S. Department, excuse me. So yeah, so the Tenet Media Company was indicted, which is the media company that manages all of these influencers is what they're describing them as. And they were
YouTube star.
And so even though the Russian people were paying the media company who was paying the influencers. So the U.S. Justice Department, I don't know why I keep flipping those words. The U.S. Justice Department doesn't allege any wrongdoing by the influencers, some of whom it says were given false information about the source of the company's funding. Instead, it accuses two employees of RT, a Russian state media company, of funneling nearly $10 million into a Tennessee-based content creation company for Russian-friendly content. So yeah, it was RT, which is their Russian news network, were the people who were funding it. Two people from there, which I don't know if it necessarily has any specific ties to RT. I think it's just the fact that they were employees of RT, but I'm sure RT has something to do with it, but they're like just wanting to put the blame on the two people so RT doesn't get in trouble.
Right.
So that's just my hunch. I don't know any of that for sure. But so that's where it was all coming from. The indictment shows that some of the influencers were paid handsomely for their work. One unidentified influencer contract included a $400,000 monthly fee, a $100,000 signing bonus, and additional performance bonus. So they were getting paid that much a month to create a certain amount of videos per month promoting
Or
Russian propaganda.
Podcast clips,
Yeah.
podcast, segments.
Right. Like literally just propaganda machines. Like just
And people
Such
started pulling
garbage.
clips. People
Yeah.
started pulling clips of like the shit that he was saying.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. If you can find those clips online.
I meant to link it,
plenty.
but yeah, there was one of Tim Pool literally just going on a rant saying Ukraine is the biggest problem and like Ukraine is a problem, and they're like, I think he literally said something like they're the biggest problem facing our country right now, or so, like it was something like that. And it was like, what? Which is funny going off of his statement about it. So again, I don't give a fuck about Dave Rubin or Benny Johnson or their statements on it. I just want to focus on Tim Pool because Tim Pool is the worst of the worst. And the most, well known out of that big three. So Tim Pool took to X literally right after the indictment came out, I believe the same day, and said, "My statement regarding the allegations in the DOJ indictment. Should these allegations prove true, which is like, dude, they already indicted them. Like,
Yeah,
they have everything.
True. It's not
Yeah.
evidence. It's just true.
Yeah, it's literally as true as it can be. Quote, I, as well as the other personalities and commentators, were deceived and are victims. I cannot speak for anyone else at the company as to what they do or what they are instructed. The Culture War podcast, licensed by Tenet Media, it existed well before the license agreement with Tenet and will continue to exist, after such agreement expires. The only change with the agreement was that the location of the live broadcast moved to Tenet's YouTube channel. I and TCW never produced any content for Tenet Media. Yeah, I mean, we know that doesn't matter. The RT employees were paying Tenet to pay
Yeah. So you weren't sure.
Yeah.
You weren't doing any of the direct talking to the Russian media.
No, and yeah, that we know of. Never at any point did anyone other than I have full editorial control of the show, and the contents of the show are often apolitical. What? Examples include discussing spirituality, dating, and video games. That's a very weird statement.
No, that is not true at all.
No, and it's like very
Holy
weird.
shit.
Like, who is he trying to, like, who's he
duping with that?
Yeah, like everybody who follows you knows what you talk about, because you occasionally will go off on a tangent to talk about dating and video games. Like, it all ties in. It all has to do with your political talk. Like,
Sure does.
Yeah, go to any clip on his channel. I would love to find one where he talks about video games.
Yeah, please. I bet it would be few and far between with those.
Right, and it has like, it'll probably have like 15,000 views. Like, it's a very minimal amount of views per clip if it's about,
compared to his political ones.
Literally. The show is produced in its entirety by our local team without any input from anyone external to the company.
You're right, man.
Yeah, sure, pal.
Yeah, you're right, and that is exactly how they're doing it. But you're getting paid through Russian channels.
So literally, the indictment proves that to be untrue. So let's just get our head out of our ass for a second here. TCW is a separate company not associated with timcast.com or other properties. It exists solely for the production of the Culture War podcast. That being said, we still do not know what is true, as these are only allegations. Again, is that true? It's an indictment. I don't know. How is it an allegation if it's like an indictment?
It's not an indictment. They have the evidence and they came out with this
Right.
to be like, we're charging you with this. You have to go to court now.
Yeah, yeah. And then he says, Putin is a scumbag. Russian sucks donkey balls. And to the journalists who wish to jump the gun, create their own narrative, or lie about what is currently going on, you can eat my Irish ass. And then he, I don't know if you noticed this, but in his name on Twitter, he has the Israeli flag, and then I don't know if he just added, but he has the Ukraine flag.
Yeah, he added that after the indictment came out.
And then he made a bunch of tweets that were like saying things in, the Ukraine's native language, and like, just like, I don't know, it felt like he was mocking Ukraine after that, to me. His tweets were like
just
very odd. I was like,
it would be like someone getting canceled for something and then being like, hey, here's all these resources for these people I used to make fun of.
right.
It's kind of odd.
Yeah, and it's like, because it's like, if it's genuine, it's a bad look because it looks like you're trying to cover something up.
Right.
And if it's
It's
not
just like, here's all this stuff. I'm gonna talk in Ukrainian now.
right. And if it's not genuine, then you are a giant piece of shit making fun of a country that is
Being actively
warred on and taken over
Yeah.
by a big bully known as Russia. Like, either way, it's a bad look, and it's so stupid. And of course, it's a very Tim Pool thing to do. So in the indictment, this is my part of the write-up. In the indictment, there were many examples of the influencers asking for more info on the investors, and were sent fake information about a person who did not exist, truly showing just how idiotic these people are, or the fact that they are just flat out lying because of how much they're getting paid. Alleged, of course. So I kind of mentioned that in that first thing I read, but some of them, I don't know specifically who, were asking like, And this is why it's so stupid for him to be like, we had no idea that this was happening. And maybe in Tim Pool's case, that's true. I doubt it. But it literally in the indictment stated that some of these influencers were going, whoa, that's a lot of money. Like, who are these people? Can I get more information on them? And then from what I've heard, they were sent like a fake, either like a fake website or a fake bio, a fake resume. I think it was a fake resume. Had this person's name on it, had like a bunch of shit misspelled and just like stuff that didn't make sense. And then when you would search up this person's name, they didn't even exist. Like
this
literally,
was somebody that Russia had sent them.
So
that,
this
like,
was
fake resume.
like those RT employees were sending them this fake investors information, and it was like misspelled shit, and they were just like, okay, good enough for me. So it's like either, like I said, either they're really fucking stupid or they're just lying, or they're just lying and they're like, well, I did ask. Like,
well, we tried, but they gave us this, and this is all we had to work with.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why don't you?
I'm not going to do
read
any
it?
more critical thinking on this at all.
I have no more room in my brain. This is as much as I can take. Excuse me. That's all I have.
Their
on
brain.
it, unless you have more.
No, that is exactly what I had gathered from that, and I thought it was just. And also, in my opinion, I think the amount of damage control that he's doing about this does show more guilt than
Exactly.
than like innocence. If you're just gonna keep saying like, "Oh, see, I didn't know anything about this."
I didn't know.
By the way, guys, I also didn't know anything about this, and all the money that I allegedly got from them, I didn't get from them because I didn't know where it was coming from, so I just didn't take it.
Is crazy. You know, that much money, you know, and of course, like, he's the biggest name out of all of them. So of course this $400,000 monthly fee was, allegedly specifically for him. Right. They're not paying Dave Rubin, that dumb fuck, $400,000 a month to be like, I love Russia.
Yeah, well, I guess they think that he can, propagate this information
apparently,
quite widely.
So that has to be for Tim, and for Tim Pool to be getting paid that much, he has to be like, he knows where that's coming from. Like,
absolutely,
that's crazy.
And again, if he didn't, and Tenet Media was basically covering for RT or whatever, and he wasn't asking questions, then it was just kind of like should have been on Tenet to communicate that idea. Even if he didn't, it should have been on Tenet, the people who manage his freaking company.
Right. But I'm gonna just shut that idea down right now, because as someone myself who works in a similar industry, not with right-wing personalities, of course, but who works with companies, and from my understanding, Tenet is like their production company, right? They said they're Tennessee-based content creation company. Right. So my thinking, and I don't know this for sure, that Tenet is their like production company, just like Office Hours. We have Forever Dog, shout out. Good people, would never take money from Russia. And my understanding is Tenet is like, serves as like, as their company to get advertisers for Tim Pool, for Benny Johnson, for Dave Rubin. Right. So anytime an advertiser comes through, which is what these RT employees were doing, they go to Tenet, hey, we want to have these influencers make this kind of content for us. We'll pay them this amount of money. What Tenet does is they go to Tim Pool's people, not specifically Tim Pool, it's his producers, and go, hey, we have this much money that this company wants to pay. Do you want to take it? And then they go, oh, that's intriguing. Let me get some more information on them. And then they send the fake resume over. So maybe in some possibility, Tim Pool, it would be up to his producers to tell him. Right. Someone in Tim Pool's camp for sure knows. That's just how this stuff works.
Yeah.
It's not like Tenet being like, here's some money.
And that's the thing, is that Tim may not know, but I doubt it.
I doubt it, because they're paying him to make
such a large amount of money.
A certain amount or a specific amount of content pushing Russian propaganda.
Right.
which means that someone had to go, Tim, make sure you hit this line about Russia and how much you love them, or how Ukraine is the biggest enemy. Like, it's obviously not outwardly specific. Sometimes it is. It's usually undertones of saying Ukraine is the biggest threat to our country right now. But he has to, there's almost no way he doesn't know this. Like,
Right. He's just going to feign ignorance about it.
It's crazy for that, because that's just how this stuff works. When you get an advertiser, you tell the producer who is supposed to tell the client. You're not just going to surprise them with a new advertisement. You know,
Thank you for
that's
the
just not
behind the scenes. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you know, that was something I should have looked more into what Tenet does specifically, but just understanding and reading all of this, that seems to be what it is, and that's what's going on. So he's just lying. I mean, is there any surprise for Tim Pool to be lying?
This is a really
I know you're a
upsetting
big
guy.
fan, so I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Moving on, though. Let's talk about this croissant lamp. I should have called it the croissant lamp. What's the word? Like,
Controversy.
God, I just don't have words in my brain
Trend?
today. Controversy. That's the word. I need to go to the doctor.
Really bad.
Really, really bad. The croissant lamp controversy. So this all started with a TikTok from this person. I'll have to have you pull up this clip, Gavin.
Oh, sure.
A TikTok
No.
from this person, and I have it linked there, but it links to a different account, which is fine. It's still the same clip. But it came from a TikTok account from a person named Frog in a Hat Girl, who posted this TikTok of her. She bought a croissant lamp from Temu, which if we all know what Temu is, it's make sure you share your screen. If we all know it, yes, I can. I can't hear it though.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Take your time. Take your time. If we all know what Temu is, it's like AliExpress, whatever. They just sell like cheap knockoff versions of stuff that's expensive usually, or just really low quality stuff. Excuse me. And I came to this clip not because of TikTok, of course, because I don't peruse that app. I saw this from metro.co.uk, who did a report on it. I just got to give credit where credit's due. But they didn't post the clip. I found the clip. So Gavin, why don't you go and play this, and then we can discuss it furthermore.
You can see this?
Yes.
Okay. Right then.
So I got this Temu lamp as a gift
It's
from
very
my
quiet.
sisters. And I had it in my room, and I came home from work after the hot day, and there was like hundreds of ants underneath it. And I was like, why the fuck would ants want a fake croissant? And like, I'm almost wondering if this is a fucking literal real croissant covered in resin, because they were going in the holes. And anyway, I just poked a bigger hole, and it like low-key looks like a fucking croissant under there. Hang on. Just going to... Dude, like... That looks like a fucking croissant. Are you actually joking me? Like, that looks like fucking pastry. Look at the crumbs. What the actual fuck, Temu? I guess there's one way to truly know.
Oh, God, don't tell me.
Just came out of there. It's literally fucking food.
Wow.
No, I just have to say something real quick after I watched that, and I apologize. I'm not trying to be mean. It was just, I have to say it. This girl reminds me of the female version of Bevo.
Oh, yeah, I mean, she's British.
That's
That
all.
usually just comes with being British, I think.
Well, there's other reasons, but I don't want to, it would be mean if I pointed them out. But yeah, so you did not see that.
No.
That was a very genuine reaction.
Yeah, that was... No, that's fucking real. What the hell? I have never seen that before.
So weird. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising for Temu to do that, but also I feel like going to the extent of making a croissant to cover it in resin seems like it would take way more time than making a croissant mold and then
just
like,
pouring resin in it.
Right. That
and
seems
then
like that's the easy way to go, not to make a croissant.
What the fuck?
So
the fuck
weird.
is that?
Temu, I've never bought anything from Temu, but that is so bizarre and disgusting.
Well, it's like
so gross.
I mean, I guess in all fairness, if we're I'm gonna play devil's advocate this whole episode, right?
Okay, sure.
In all fairness, what better way to make a croissant lamp look like a croissant than to get an actual croissant? If you think about it,
that's
think
true.
about just if I wanted a Taco Bell cup lamp.
Yeah.
Right.
What would you do?
Well, I would just grab a Taco Bell cup and then put a lamp in it.
Put a whole entire lamp in it.
Yeah, put a whole lamp in it.
I mean, that's a good point, but I don't know if you knew this, Gavin, and you're not. I know you're not in the food industry, but after time, food goes bad.
No.
I know it's hard to believe. Now,
nope, you're wrong.
Shit. They
Again.
found out. When you cast food in
Food
resin,
never goes wrong.
Goes wrong. Food never goes wrong.
No.
When you cast food in resin, you can preserve it. But the thing is, to make a lamp, you have to make a hole to put the light through. So it's not going to be fully sealed in. And also, they didn't seal the inside of the croissant. So
Well, why wouldn't you just pour resin on the inside too?
Probably because you have to open it up. But I guess if you
Well, I
poked
mean,
a hole in it,
they
you
cut
could
the hole. Yeah.
Well, because that takes too much time. And then again,
Well,
it
you
just
gotta go one side and you gotta go the other side.
And then again, it just comes back to my thought of why don't you just make a fucking mold for it?
And I guess the
bake it.
difficulty would be finding the correct color of like a bread color.
That's a really good point. Bread color is really hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Let's
to
see.
make.
What is it? Orange, brown.
Orange and yellow, brown.
Those
black.
those are really hard colors to find.
Those are on shortage. You know that, right?
You did hear about the red,
You
yellow, and
did
orange
hear
shortage,
about that, right?
You did hear about that, right? They didn't tell you? There's like a really big.
shit.
There's a really big shortage of the color yellow.
That's like a really big issue right now.
It is a big
Big prop.
big props. All right. You don't have the theme song ready, do you?
No, I don't. I'd have to
thought
find
about
it
that.
again. No, it's fine.
You said
Gavin's Techno World. Gavin's Techno World. Gavin's Techno World. Gavin's. All right, this is Gavin's Techno World, the segment where I talk about technology. And today was the Apple keynote for the brand new iPhones.
I watched the whole thing.
I know, and you were probably awake for it too.
I was
thinking.
there. They invited me.
Yeah, we asked for press passes. We got them.
Mm-hmm.
Carson was there. He was our despondent on the case. He was down there.
Me and Marcus Brownlee.
And you guys were chopping it up. You guys were just killing it, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Apple today announced just a few new products, but it's big. They announced the official release date of iOS 18, which I have already talked about. You can go back
Which is
to
exciting.
one of the
That was
episodes.
That was a big
It's
one.
a very big update, and on top of that, there's going to be Apple Intelligence, where you can generate your own images, and ask Siri, Siri can summarize your messages, and it can, she's a lot more useful. I guess, and that will be coming out on the new iPhones. And the new iPhones, they have a base model iPhone 16. Obviously a 16 Plus model where it's bigger. And then they have the iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. And basically the big things with this, and same thing with the 16 models, is that they added a new button, another one.
Oh God.
Technically another new button. And this one is a little bit more interactive. It's almost like a tiny, not like a touchscreen per se, but it's way more capacitive. You're able to change things very slightly on it. It's very cool. There's some I can pull up a demonstration of it. Let's see.
They still have the pill.
Yeah, so that's a pill, and
Excuse me.
the bezels are very, very, very small. I mean, I'm not even gonna fake it. Like it's kind of impressive to me that they got it that small. I'm not sharing yet, but I'm trying to find there we go. Find a clip of the new button here.
So it'll have 4 buttons.
Yeah, we'll have the home button, and it will have the new, like, whatever it's called, the action button, I think they call it.
Action Bronson.
Yeah, Action Bronson. They have the volume rockers, and then now at the bottom of the phone, about like a quarter of the way up the phone on the same size of volume rockers, is this new button.
Okay.
It's a win. Played around with it a little bit, and it's kind of funny getting a feel for it. You kind of have to push pretty hard to take a photo, and then you kind
Sorry, this is sorry.
Oh, you're
Whenever
fine.
I
You're
share
fine.
of have to do a light double tap to change the settings.
So you can
Okay.
swipe
Slide
on
your finger
it.
across to change the zoom or whatever. I don't know. I think I'll get used to it, but we'll see. So the camera control is on all 4 phones. Pro phones get an A18 Pro
So it's
chipset
just for the
this year.
camera.
Yes, it's for the camera, and it's basically, and at any time you're on your phone and you have to take a picture, it will automatically launch the camera app. If you're in Twitter, if you're in FaceTime, if you're in whatever, and you have a picture, you just press the button, or if you have like a picture in mind, you can just press a button and it will open it up. Open up the camera app
Seems
and have
odd
it ready to go.
for them to make a button only used for the camera.
Apple has completely changed their views on cameras in the last 10 years.
Oh, they're okay with
Like-
cameras now.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
Let's give it up.
Yeah, they want the focus. I think they want, no joke. I do remember at one point there was a Samsung like camera phone or an LG camera phone where it had that button on the side. You know what I'm talking about.
I think so. But I just
And it had like the zoom lens on the outside. You could zoom in and out on it.
Okay.
For optical zoom, and it had but yeah, so they're going way more heavy onto the iPhone imaging, right? And you can see kind of in the background here, like look, just I'm not
Screen
even gonna
now.
put but the bezels are very thin on this phone. They are very thin in terms of like the border, the black border around the phone.
very.
That's the bezel.
Yeah.
This is a bit like compared to my phone and compared to other people's phones.
Yeah.
You may notice if you have like an iPhone, I think 12 and lower, these bezels look significantly smaller than other ones, but I don't think that that's a good selling point.
Right.
This one, the iPhone 15 Pro and the iPhone 16s and 16 Pro will have the Apple Intelligence on board.
Yeah.
So this is from The Verge. She's great. They have a lot of great pieces. She was the one that was on board there. Yeah, they have a lot of. I mean, they have. So these are the new outlines here of the
You have to explain
iPhone
it 'cause
16, the
I
base
won't
model.
show this, so.
The base model will now have cameras instead of it being. How was it laid out in the last one? I guess it was diagonal instead of the phones being diagonal.
Diagonal and that's stacked.
Now they're completely vertical on top of each other again, as if they were, I think, on the 12 or on the what was it, the 10s, the 10, that type of stuff. So it's been a couple years since we've seen that back, but they brought that back, and yeah, so it's really great stuff.
Anything new
Good
with
for them.
the
Yeah, the Vision Pro doesn't. The Vision Pro didn't have anything significantly new. They're going to release that. That will probably be their own keynote later on with the MacBooks and stuff like that later on this year, probably December-ish.
it's gonna be like the Virtual Boy. Nobody's gonna give a shit.
Yeah, no one's
about
gonna
it.
use it, and it's too fucking expensive.
nobody's gonna
Those
use it.
Vision Pros are definitely the Vision Pros. They're probably going to release a more consumer-friendly version. That's probably about consumer-friendly, quote unquote. $500 will probably be the base starting price, or even
It's not
$1,000,
terrible.
which is still not great.
1,000 would
but,
suck. 500 is
Yeah.
okay.
kind of the rival the Meta Quest and all that stuff.
Yeah.
In other news, they also announced new AirPods. AirPods will now have like technically like 4 versions now. They have the base model, which has no active noise cancellation of like normal, quote unquote, the cheapest version of the AirPods will now have no active noise cancellation. Then the slightly more expensive ones will have active noise cancellation, so you can like click those on and off like you can on the Pro, AirPods Pro. On the new AirPods Pro, they now have like speakers on the bottom of the case, which I thought was interesting. And now they are seeking FDA approval for hearing aid. I guess hearing aid indications, which is, in my opinion, a good thing because hearing aids are now officially generic. So you can buy generic hearing aids over the counter at a Walmart, at your Target. You can go and find them. They're still pretty expensive. They're, upwards of $100 to $200, $300.
Right. But I guess,
and then they also,
just to stop that real quick, I guess I don't understand what is the point of buying. I mean, I guess sound quality. I was going to say, what's the point of buying AirPods if you have hearing aids? Because most hearing aids now can be connected to your phone.
Yeah, I guess it would just be accessibility to it. The partnership with your iPhone. If it works, it works kind of thing.
Yeah,
that Apple's been working on for a long time. So that's the only point.
There's probably something to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there might be more, but it's your AirPods usually just work. So you just pull them out of your phone. And you don't have to click on that settings app, go into Bluetooth. It automatically works right off the bat as soon as you put them in your ear. So,
but that's the same thing with hearing aids, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, with hearing aids, sometimes you do have to go in and make sure the Bluetooth is connected, or sometimes they'll lose connection if they die, or something.
But I gotta be honest with you, I got the same issue with my
same
AirPods.
issue for me with the AirPods. I think over time they start to lose their kick,
especially over 6 months.
Yeah,
for
the
sorry, go on. Sorry.
Last thing was that the AirPods Max, the AirPods like headphones, same price.
What's
they now
the price
have
at?
Like $549 or $599, which is just fucking insane because I think I saw someone with a comparative price. There's some that have basically the exact same drivers and sound, and it's like $70.
Yeah.
And they're heavy. I've heard they're heavy. They're not really that comfortable to live in for a while.
But you look cool wearing them, apparently.
But yeah, I'll tell you what. I guess people like to look like they spend a lot of money. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, like I said, they also changed it over from lightning cable, which was kind of odd whenever they released it, even then, now to entirely USB-C cables on those. They gave it new colors and stuff like that. The color selection as well on the phones, I guess, is better than it was on the 15s. I guess I don't know. Some people were like, "Oh, finally they brought back the green or whatever, the turquoise."
I really want a green phone.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, so they brought that color back. So
cool.
Gavin's Techno World. Gavin's Techno World. This is Gavin's Techno World.
Thank you, Gavin. Appreciate that. Oh, it's really quiet now.
I think it's playing outside my speakers.
I think it is too. All your neighbors are going to be scared and confused.
That's going to be really loud.
Excuse me. Appreciate that report, Gavin. I want to talk about some movies.
For the last segment, or for the second to last segment of the week, we're going to talk about Gavin's Cinema Corner.
Gavin, take it over. Talk about your movies.
So I watched.
I watched a lot of movies recently. Only some of them, really only Beetlejuice I want to go in on. The other ones I just want to, I'll go over.
Shut up.
Bing, 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 real quick. First of all, let's just start it off on. What day was it last week that we watched that Beetlejuice?
Thursday.
It couldn't have been Thursday. It was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday, yeah.
Gavin was off last week. I had a pretty chill week. So we were like, movie night, which is Gavin and I, because everybody else was busy. And I was like, what do you want to watch? And Gavin was like, I don't know. And then he's going over movies and he said Beetlejuice. And I was like, oh, I was thinking about rewatching that because I wanted to see it one more time before I went and saw the new one that just came out. Literally pretty much that day, the new one came out. Mm-hmm. And Gavin was like, I've never seen it. And then I was like, that's done. That's what we're watching. And we watched it. I love it, of course. Jesus Christ. People close the door so fucking loud. I love it, of course. That was my third time seeing it. So I mean, there's specifics I can go into, but that's not interesting. Gavin, we didn't even talk about it after we were done watching it.
No.
What did you think of it? And be honest.
Yeah, to be completely honest with you, to give my complete honest, no bars held take
No
on
holds
it
barred.
was that. Yeah, exactly. Was that I thought it was a no non-consequential movie.
Yeah.
It's a very non-consequential, and it's, in my opinion, not as weird as people made it out to be. Maybe in the
Really?
80s. Maybe in the 80s it was weird, but this one, in my opinion, pretty run-of-the-mill. I mean, like, it was the basic Tim Burton movie, in my opinion. If I could say the weirdest movie I've seen of Tim Burton was probably Edward Scissorhands. Scissorhands. I think that one's pretty freaking weird. The Alice in Wonderlands are very weird.
True.
But this one was very just kind of like, I thought Beetlejuice played a bigger part in the movie.
Yeah, he's like barely in it.
Yeah, he's barely
So
in it. He's
weird.
not in it, and he's Tiggs obviously steals the show, which is why they left him out for so long.
Yeah.
But I think Alec Baldwin did a really good job in this. I think everybody did a really good job acting in the movie. I think it's a really cool story. It's a really cool concept. I like the concept. I like the visuals. I'm just saying it's not as weird as everybody was like, oh, that's a weird ass fucking movie. Isn't that fucking weird?
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird. It's so weird. And it's like, it's really not that weird. It's not that weird. I think, in my opinion, it's about, I mean, maybe I've just seen so many weird movies, or I'm fine with.
We're definitely
with the
oversaturated with weirdness.
Yeah, and so like I maybe I've also been exposed to it, but I had not been familiar with the worms in the sand there.
Yeah.
I'd seen Beetlejuice, like the character, multiple times. Many a times. I think, Michael Keaton is still in the spotlight. He has been since Beetlejuice came out.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was just a non-consequential movie. I think the only consequences in the movie was that Beetlejuice would have to marry the 12-year-old.
Yeah.
was that like the honest to God like consequences of the movie?
Yeah. Which
and
is
that
weird.
These ghosts would die already and go to an afterlife.
Which it's weird.
It sounds like the second one does explain a bit more of like because they didn't really do much explaining, which I think is great. I think that's a better way to have a movie. But it sounds like the newer one, from what I've heard from people who have done like non-spoiler reviews, it's just kind of like they explain stuff.
They explain what specifically? What were you saying? They explain
how Alec Baldwin's character isn't in the second one, and they explain that in the Beetlejuice is that.
Yeah,
they explain that they like went onto the afterlife and found a loophole or something.
Yeah, there's like, they kind of, I didn't even really think about that, but there's like, they do explain a little bit more to like why there's that like waiting room and why there's all these like people working in the afterlife, and like you're not just stuck in this limbo, you do eventually go somewhere else. You're not just like stuck in a hellhole of a DMV.
That was the one thing that
place.
I didn't always think it was. Excuse me, I didn't think it was eternal. They did say it was like for 120 years or whatever in the original.
Oh, I didn't even
notice we don't
that.
have to do this for 125 more years.
Oh, I didn't notice that they said that.
So
I must have missed that.
they definitely said that. Like when they're walking down the hallway to like meet with them, they're like, oh, this is where people go after like 125 years or whatever.
I think what he was saying is that like, no, I think they were saying that they've been gone for 125 years, or they were like, they were like gone for 125 years until they got back to their home.
Oh,
like they died and then they were like, they came back and they thought they were still alive, and then they found out they were gone for 125 years.
Yeah.
I think,
maybe that's
I
what it
believe
was,
so. But I wanted to go back to what you said about the weirdness, because although I do think you're right, I think there are some things that you maybe don't know about it that like once you kind of think about it more, you're like, it's just like unexplained shit that's very weird. Like he's called Beetlejuice, but yet his name is Beetlegeist.
Yeah.
It's spelled different, but yet the movie's title is Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And his name is Beetlejuice.
Like Betelgeuse.
Yeah, it's Beetlegeist. The sandworms is weird that they're on Saturn, and so it's just like a very like there's untold things that are like when you dig into it, it's like what? It doesn't make any sense.
Bizarre, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Overall, it's like nowadays, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's wacky, but it's like compared to today's stuff, it's tame.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just a fun kind of horror comedy thing. So I'm glad we watched that. And then so on Friday, I was like, fuck it, I got to go see this new one. I'm all amped up from watching in the original one again. Let me go see it. Now, you had told me beforehand that you were seeing mixed reviews of it.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few, but I haven't seen many.
I think I saw over
it.
time better. There was better reception.
Okay. Because I'll just say I really enjoyed it. Did I love it? No. Were there things that I loved about it? Yes. Were there things I hated about it? Yes. It was like not my favorite movie, but I think for a Beetlejuice 2, it was really good. I did really like it. I thought there were very funny moments to it. I liked the story of it. I had a lot of fun. The theater was
I heard it's
packed.
very funny.
Yeah. There are parts that are very funny, and there are some parts where they like, I don't know. I think everything they tried to be funny with, I thought was funny. I just think there was like things in it that I was like, ugh, that's so stupid. Just to start it off, I won't spoil. I try not to do too many spoilers here, but some of it will be. Also, it's Beetlejuice. Like, why? Who gives a fuck if you spoil it? Like, it's not that big of a deal.
That's a non-consequential movie, as we explained.
So right away, I was kind of like, I didn't smoke before going, but I was like, man, I kind of wish I did, because there was something in it that I was like, oh man, I would have fucking laughed so hard if I was just a little buzzed, because it came out of nowhere. So the big elephant in the room they got out of the way pretty quickly is Jeffrey Jones, pedophile, known pedophile, ostracized,
sex offender,
Hollywood sex offender, is not in it. I thought they were going to just be like, he died and that's it. That was kind of what I was hoping for. He's really like, for not being in the movie, he's actually like a big like plot point. Like,
really? Okay.
Yeah. Like, wait.
But like, he's not like a character in the movie. He does not appear in the movie.
Himself, no. His voice, no. It's someone else doing his voice. It's not actually Jeffrey Jones, but they like use his image. So, spoiler alert, he dies. They say that he died. They don't show, well, so Lydia, who's the daughter, goes to her mom, Catherine O'Hara, whose character name
I was shocked. I was shocked I recognized her from the first movie. I was like, oh, that's who that is. I always heard her name, but I'm like, I don't know who that is.
She's great. I love her so much. She like goes to her. She's like an art person in New York, which is fun that they kept that going. And like, she's just a very over the top artsy person.
Right.
And so Winona Ryder, Lydia, goes to her and she's like, your dad died. And she's like not really upset about it. It's like another funny, like kind of jokey thing where it's like, she's like not upset about it, but she like is pretending to be and like making it very over the top. That was great. But like,
I heard that like Tim Burton had a mean streak with this Jeffrey Jones dying like thing.
What do you mean?
He that was what someone had said in a review, is that like explaining Jeffrey Jones not being in the movie, Tim Burton is not very nice to Jeffrey Jones about it. It's very
they're
which is
he's
good. Not very nice about it, which is good, but that was funny that Tim Burton went out of his way to be such a dick about it.
And here's the weirdest part.
For a good reason, by the way. I'm just saying that in terms of like Hollywood, uppityness, you don't usually like hush hush about stuff like that.
Yeah, like I guess that's a good point where it's like, to me it felt like he was almost like putting Jeffrey Jones on a pedestal kind of thing in a way. But when you say it like that, it's like, oh yeah, maybe it was more like a making fun of him thing. I don't know. He gets brought up
pulling his pants down.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term.
Yeah,
pulling his pants down in front of a crowd.
Right. I just think it was a little too much.
Which I wouldn't put past Jeffrey Jones at this point, but
yeah, you would hope not. It's principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, in case you don't know what we're talking about. So they explain, she says that he dies. And then like the weirdest thing happens where I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I was like, man, if I was on acid, this would like, it would be the scariest thing ever. So they're like,
Does his
mind
face come
you,
on the wall?
No. Mind you, this is all live action movie. Beetlejuice is a live action movie. This is a live action movie. It feels very much like a real live action movie. It hard cuts to like claymation of her, and it's a voiceover of Catherine O'Hara explaining how he died, and it's a claymation reenactment of him dying. And it's like he was on a plane to go bird watching, and then the plane crashed, and he got eaten by a shark. And it, mind you, this is all stop motion claymation, not like Tim Burton Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare Before Christmas claymation. This is like weird, colorful Play-Doh claymation. Okay. And it's like a, like a 2-minute scene of this claymation of Jeffrey Jones dying. And it was like, whoa, that never happens in the movie at all anymore. But it was like very obvious that Tim Burton was insistent on recreating this death. But they were like,
we're not funding this.
Yeah, they're like, we're not getting Jeffrey Jones here to do that. That's insane. So he's like, fuck it. People like my claymation. Let's just fucking do that. Because it was literally like a third grader, stop motion claymation. Like, it was very out of place. And I was like, oh, movie's gonna be great. Like, I was like, this is so fucking weird. So that was very odd. But
one other note about the original Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
I thought it played exactly like a live action stage show. I think that was the takeaway. I said that it played exactly like a stage show. It was very much just like, oh, these people come on, they say these lines, and they walk out, and then these people come on. It was very much just like pre-regimented.
There is a Beetlejuice musical, Gavin. It was on Broadway at one point.
Yeah.
This movie does not play like that at all. This movie, to me, it felt to me like I was like, oh, like Tim Burton is directing a Hallmark movie. It kind of had that feel to it, where it was like very saturated colors. It still had the weird Tim Burton-ness to it, but it was like very wide shots, very like there were some romantic scenes that were out of place and stuff. And it's like
the bokeh.
Yeah.
Effects.
There was like, I mean, I don't want to get too specific because I could go on an hour-long tangent about this, so I'm trying to be very limited. So that was those things were kind of weird about it. And then like again with the Jeffrey Jones thing, I just have to keep going on about it. They have a funeral service for him where his actual face is on a headstone. So they do show Jeffrey Jones in it, which I was like, okay, this is a little, even though it's just a picture, it's just a little odd. And it's also a funny thing to note that the gravestone is shaped like a shark fin. It's kind of funny. Very subtle. And then he does end up coming back in a way. So like when he goes to the like limbo DMV room to like get his number, take your number, you got to wait in line. They like, it's a legs and torso with no head and upper body. It's just like,
that's good.
From here
That's
down,
good.
it's like guts.
It's
And
like
it's like when he talks,
it's a shark bite.
Yeah. When it talks, it like blood and stuff spurts out. He's like, and it's like, and when he sits down, it like shoots blood in the air. It was really cool, but it was like, it sounded too much like him where I was just like, I don't know if this was needed. Like, I don't know. It's just a very weird thing they added into it.
That was what I meant is that he like Tim Burton had his mean streak come through. He was like, fuck you, Jeffrey Jones.
Right. He was like, I'm
gonna make your life a living hell in this movie. Don't worry.
We're gonna put Jeffrey Jones in this, but he's never actually gonna be in it. Like that's literally what it was. It was very bizarre. And then so Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis are not in it. They're the Maitlands, the ones who die in the original movie. They're not in it at all. I heard apparently Gina Davis didn't want to be in it. I mean, obviously, I don't know why you'd hire Alec Baldwin. That'd be a pretty weird move to do right now. But they do explain because somebody asked, like, where are the Maitlands? And she goes, it's like very quick. It was like they found a loophole and they moved on to the afterlife or whatever. Like they moved on to somewhere else. So that like whole waiting room thing now kind of makes sense because it's like, oh, they're waiting to talk to their caretaker who's going to help them move on to a nicer place.
Right.
So like,
and I think that pretty much coincides with like the conventional thought process or thought school of limbo.
right. Yeah. It's like the DMV room is limbo.
Yeah. Which, I mean, shit. It is like that in real life too.
It really is. So they do explain that. Again, not to say everything about the movie and spoil everything. Let me just say I thought that was you on the mic. My favorite part of the movie, and then I can kind of move on because I don't. Well, let me just say one more negative thing, and then I'll say my favorite part, and then that'll be it for Beetlejuice. My biggest gripe with it, and I feel like this is the only thing I can kind of like maybe associate a little bit with like right-wing talking heads, like a Tim Pool kind of thing, where I'm like they have a kind of a point to an extent with this. So there's a major plot point in the movie, and by major plot point I just mean like it's an establishing plot point. It never has any sort of point to it. It's just like a way to set up the characters. So Winona Ryder's daughter, her name's Astrid. Ugh. And that's
Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega plays Astrid. And Winona Ryder, Lydia's husband is dead. And so it's just her and her daughter. She's widowed and she has her daughter. And it's like established pretty much immediately that Astrid and her dad are both really big on climate change. That's made a really big point that they are big on climate change. Her dad was working in the rainforest. And so you're like, in my head, I'm like, oh, maybe this movie's going to have like some undertones of climate change in some sort of way. That's kind of cool. That's pretty cool for Tim Burton to do. No. It's just like this pointless, like, what is that, virtue signaling? Where it's like, they're just like being like, well, we got to be current. It's like,
what's the thing that we could do about being current?
Right. It didn't fucking matter at all. And it's like, that didn't need to be there. It feels so like out of place and like they're purposely doing it. And it's like, you don't need to do that. And if there's no point to it, then don't. Like there just
and like if there's anything that should have just been cut out of the movie, it obviously would have just been that plot point.
Right. It was just so pointless. I'm like, obviously I'm for climate change, but if you're not going to make a point of it, you don't need to be like, no, we're all proper and we're for climate change, but we're not going to make any sort of point of it. We just want to use it as something to be like relevant. Right. There's a problem with movies today and TV shows today where they try to be like very relevant. And it's like, all you're going to do is date yourself so much.
It's a completely unwatchable experience after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it can ruin a movie if you go back and watch it like, oh, I don't remember that being in the movie.
Right. It usually is. They try to use like relevant, and like, especially when they do, like, we'll probably see a movie in 2 years that references Hawk Tuah. And that's the problem, is that these movies are shot years prior. So what was relevant then isn't so much now. Obviously climate change is.
It will always be.
It will always be. But it's like certain things like that. It's just like, oh, you're dating yourself. Like, this is so.
What politics does this play into the fucking Beetlejuice movie?
It doesn't. I mean? It's just so. It's so stupid. If it's pointless, then don't do it. Like, don't waste. Like, you're making a point to look like you just look like a dick at that point. Like, you're just like trying to be relevant or something, and it's just like it doesn't work. I hate that. That's my biggest gripe with it. Is I hated that, and I hated they like tried to do these love scenes and they sucked. They were so weird. It was like, this is a weird movie. Don't try and have a love story.
I don't think
a serious
Tim Burton was known. I don't think Tim Burton is known as like a love. I guess take that back. Edward Scissorhands is technically a love story.
But this is like they did like a Hallmark style love story between Jenna Ortega and this nice guy who turns out to be a bad guy, which I like that they changed that, but they didn't need to do these like Hallmark bokeh lens flare shot of them in the treehouse. It was like, what are Tim Burton? This is a Hallmark
What
movie.
Is this?
Yeah,
like,
what
year are we?
What are you doing? So again, some things about it suck. It was like when the movie sucked, it really sucked. When it was good, it was like really good. There was no in between. There wasn't like it's just okay. It was like a wave. It was crazy. The one thing I really liked, and then I'm done, I promise, is that when we first see, when Lydia and Beetlejuice first interact for the first time in 35 years, it's the craziest sequence of stuff ever. I loved it so much. It's like she needs Beetlejuice's help. She calls on him. Her and her new husband, who is this like, piece of shit money guy, who was Justin Theroux, if you know who that is, was played by him.
I recognize the name. I'm pretty sure I've seen a movie with him, but
he's great. I'd never seen anything with him in it, but he played this character. He's like this ass kisser guy who's like really good. They get transported, and it's just this like, it's a wacky Beetlejuice scene where like there's literally like an inflation porn style thing where I'm like, the inflation porn people are gonna love this. Winona Ryder's belly gets it grows really big, and then it like bursts open, and then a baby Beetlejuice comes flying out, and it's like this nasty looking fucking baby who's like just disgusting and gross, and is like gnawing on her leg. And it's like I never by myself laughed out loud in a movie theater until then. I was like, this is fucking great. And it's like so gross, and like I can't remember, there's something about it that I was like, that's so disgusting, and I love it. But it was like baby Beetlejuice was so gross, and I was like, that's amazing. That I'm so glad Tim Burton did that. And it ends up coming back later, but just the inflation porn style thing, I was like, what the fuck? It was so
I guess
weird.
that's not the first time he's done it, because he did it in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
He did that.
Maybe
in the
Tim
05
Burton
one.
is
Maybe
an inflationist.
Maybe.
Term I made up.
Holy shit.
We got to start, dude. I might have to we'll do a collaborative tweet between me and you, since you gave me that little point that maybe Tim Burton is into inflation porn. I might have to tweet that out. I got to find a picture of her belly getting really big. I wish I could remember. There's something so gross about it that happened, and I just can't
Is it
remember.
like full of pus or something? Is it like water? Like, is it,
Yeah,
is
there's
it bloody?
something, I don't know, or Beetlejuice.
Green? Is it green goo inside of it instead?
Yeah, because Beetlejuice does something really gross. Well, then at the end of the movie, again, spoiler, Jenna Ortega apparently gets pregnant, and she gives birth to baby Beetlejuice as well. And then it's like crawling on the ceiling and stuff, and it's great. I really love that, because usually I'm like, ugh, like really we had to make a baby character? No, this is perfect.
Right.
I wouldn't change anything about it.
I think that was also probably commentary on all the baby stuff, like Baby Yoda.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like a baby
Right.
Groot.
But
Anytime
they're
there's a
like,
baby version, it's meant as like
That's-
as like a money grab, but they made this
Yeah.
intentionally so fucking disgusting
that you would
like,
hate it.
No one would want to market this.
Right. And it just like it happens, and then you're like, you don't know what happened to the baby. Like it's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, I'm getting annoyed that I can't remember what the thing was that I loved about it, but yeah, Baby Beetle just loved it. Yeah, I really liked it. It's worth seeing, in my opinion. Is it better than the original? No. There's great things about it, though. Definitely go see it, especially if you're a fan of the first one. Moving on, though, I don't have much to say on it, though, but the Minecraft movie trailer dropped, 2 weeks ago now?
I think last week. I think it's been 1 week. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I couldn't.
I'm Steve.
I couldn't even watch it. I like tried, and then I was like, I can't do it.
I woke up.
This is cringy.
I woke
weird,
up and I
can't do
sent it in our group chat because I
Yeah.
was like, "This is fucking so bad."
I saw Jason Momoa pop up, and I was like, I'm done. I was like, why is this a live action CGI world movie? What is happening? It's so weird.
They'll probably explain it, and
Of
it's so
course.
annoying to me that that Hollywood is still stuck on the fucking screaming goat shit, because they did that with the
Oh, God, I
with
forgot
the
about
sheep
that.
and there's something Hollywood, I guess, think children really like these like stupid looking animals.
Screaming animals.
The screaming or stupid looking animals or stupid
Yeah.
animals. They have a llama at the end or some shit. God. Honestly, it just seems like a run of the mill movie. the fact that
Yeah.
Jack Black plays this, like Jack Black did not shave his beard in any way at all.
It just looks like Jack
He
Black.
just looks like Jack Black. He's not playing Steve.
Right.
Does not help. I mean, I'm not saying that like I'm like a traditionalist on fucking Minecraft, but
You could say.
I mean, Steve does have like a goatee. I guess technically he has like that. He's got like
Yeah.
a U shape underneath his mouth.
right.
I always thought that was his mouth, like it was a smile, but that's not the case.
I thought it was too until you just told
It's
me.
not. It's not the case. But why he couldn't have just shaved it into a goatee? I'm willing to bet that was in his contract that he was not shaving his beard.
Well, and it's like kids aren't going to want to watch this movie because you have real.
Well, that's the
people
thing
in
is
it.
that
Kids
some
don't wanna
people were
see
claiming
real
that it's
people.
not. Like people were claiming that it's not meant for adults either. So, but I feel like there's so much cursing in my head. I
Is
was thinking
there?
there's a lot of they're like he's such a toolbox, or he's such a tool bed, and they're like,
being
what the
kid-friendly.
hell, like like in the trailer they say this is not like bleeped
Okay.
or anything, like and I was like, this is
It's for
not
the teens.
yeah, like this is not like this is not a PG. I guess technically it is a PG movie because you can say hell damn like shit. I think
Yeah,
like one time of shit, but it's like you can say damn and hell as much as you want.
just can't say the F word.
Yeah, you can only say one F.
By the way, one more thing about the Beetlejuice movie. Original Beetlejuice is PG-13. He says fuck one time, and it's like the most useless time, but I loved it. He says nice fucking model, and then he does honk honk.
Nice fucking model.
And like they gave him one F word and they used it in the weirdest way, and I loved it. New Beetlejuice, they bleep him saying, it's the only time they bleep anything, and they bleeped him saying fuck. And I was like,
But they don't
I was
bleep
like,
in movies,
I was like,
do they?
No.
Is that a thing?
But he did, and I was like, Tim, what are you doing? Why did you bleep? There's like a close up, and he goes, beep, and it's like, I've been waiting the whole movie because I wanted him to say fuck again, and they bleeped it. It was literally that noise, and I was like, why did you do that? Anyways, that pissed me off so much. I was so mad.
I guess we shouldn't go see Beetlejuice.
No, you should. Just keep in mind that when he says fuck, he doesn't actually say it.
Yeah.
That could have been a
That's
Michael
fucked.
Keaton thing. Maybe he was like, man, move
That
past
is.
that. Anyway, you were saying about the Minecraft movie. Anything else?
Yeah, and they did a fucking epic version of a Magical Mystery Tour,
Yeah,
which
that's so weird.
I fucking hate
Forgot
that, dude.
about
I
that.
hate that shit. And after I saw that trailer, what kept playing in my head all weekend, even during the wedding, was like the epic Rocket Man during one of the movie trailers.
Yeah.
This shit is so fucking ass. It's so ass.
They just need
It's
to
so
stop.
bad.
Just play
And
the original or don't play it at all.
Through the grapevine, someone on Twitter was like, technically, like Paul McCartney had to okay this trailer because anytime they use any Beatles music
And
in
Ringo.
any, they like had to okay this. So
Yeah.
it's like Paul McCartney saw this and he's like, yeah, that looks good.
And Ringo
So-
was like, no more fan mail. And they're like, no, Ringo, this is a movie.
No, this is not what that is. It's a
this
movie.
could get you a lot of money, Ringo.
Peace, and he's like, peace and love, peace and love.
Peace and love, we'll do it.
But yeah, I thought it was okay. I'm not impressed by it at all. I think the story might be better, but I just imagine it being a Lego movie
Now I have to ask,
message.
Gavin,
Am I going to see it?
Yes, you were a big Minecraft fan. Are you going to go see this in theaters?
I might have to do it just for the meme.
When does it come out? Hold on.
Like April 2024. Not that I remember that.
2025.
Yeah, right.
Let's see, Minecraft. Because I was like, if it coincides with when I'm back, I'll, get a little.
No, it's like
I go see it.
spring 2025.
Yeah, 2025, April 4th. Oof.
Yeah, I
That's
don't remember that
not
date or
a-
anything like that.
I mean, that might coincide with people's spring break, but that's a bad time slot.
So they know it's not going to do well.
No, it just doesn't make any sense.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, what point does this movie have, like, at all? I
Doesn't.
mean, like, you could have. The thing is that they probably didn't want to hire any animators. One,
Yeah.
they didn't want to hire anybody because people would want them to do it in the style of the old Minecraft music video parodies. They'd want to do it in the Minecraft story mode versions of that type of animation,
Which would have made more
And-
sense.
which I think would have made more sense, but there would have been too many people being like, well, this looks a little bit different, and it's not as accurate as I thought it would be. Whereas they're just like, fuck it, let's just put people out there. And allegedly, I what's their fucking name? I really need a hot dog. That gal. She's a villager, I think, in this movie at some point. She wasn't shown in the trailer, I don't think, but
Really need a hot dog.
yeah. God damn it, dude! You know who I'm talking about. You would, if I say her name, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't remember her name right now. It's too fucking late.
Kate McKinnon?
No. She's in a Discover commercial. So, I need that real bad.
Not Kate McKinnon from SNL?
No, not SNL. No.
I need a hot dog. I'm just searching it up. I need a hot dog.
What's her fucking name, dude? What's her name?
Jennifer Coolidge?
Yes, her.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, anyway.
I'll have to watch that later.
Yeah. She's supposed to be a villager in the movie, I think. That was like one of the first like casting notes that someone had released about this movie, and I'm like, that's fucking stupid as shit.
Why
dude.
not? Stifler's mom from
But-
American Pie.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So-
but it's you say that they didn't want to hire animators, but they had to hire someone to do the backgrounds and
Yeah,
to do
it's
the
so
animals.
odd. It's so weird.
So it's like
I don't know.
my assumption is what they're going to be doing is they're like all of these characters they're like it's going to be like a movie where it's like it's about the video game, but these people are in the video game.
Yeah,
but they're
Jumanji
also
style.
Yeah, exactly. But they're like, but then it'll cut to them like in their gaming chair playing their game, and it's
I
showing
think
them
that
as
this
the real
is-
people because it's like it's also about the real people playing the game. That's my guess. That's my guess.
I think the trailer does show that it's like these people are actually going into the game, but I'm just like, why is Steve there?
Right.
I don't know. Who are we gonna see next? Fucking is Iron Man and Captain America and Wolverine and Deadpool gonna come in during the middle of the movie? Who fucking
Probably.
knows?
Ooh, my butthole really itches. I've got a hairy butthole.
My pee itches.
That's pretty close. Just to fire off some movies I've seen recently. I saw Clerks, my first time ever seeing a Kevin Smith movie. Really good movie. It's about nothing, and I love it. It's about these clerks who work at a gas station, and one of them works at a video store. And it's just like about their life. But like, it was so well done. I love the way they speak in it. They like talk in a certain tone that I think is really fun for a movie. And it's just great. And to think that Kevin Smith was, I think, 20 or 21 when he made that movie blows my mind. Crazy. And then I also saw Conan the Barbarian, R.I.P. James Earl Jones, who is the main villain in that movie. Gets his head cut off. Spoiler to that movie from '82.
You saw that like recently?
Recently. Never seen it before.
Wow.
Have you seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
I loved it. I thought it was so good and fun and scary at times. Very good movie. And then last night I watched My Cousin Vinny, which is really good too.
I haven't never heard of that movie.
You never heard of that? Joe Pesci?
Nope.
Joe Pesci plays a dumb lawyer. And it's just like, there's just like every
And
comedy.
he's like, funny how?
Right. Every like time they do like every comedy beat in the movie is like, who's on first? They're like, you said I was what? No, I said you were this. You said, like, it's like that. It's just that like every
is it
single
like
time.
what are those gun movies with
Naked Gun?
Yeah, Naked Gun.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not off the walls bonkers like those movies are, which are good.
I need to watch those really bad.
Yeah, that can be another movie night thing we do because
I know Brendan talk about that.
Yeah, I've been very stoned every time I've watched all of those movies, so it'll be like watching it again for the first time.
And you won't be stoned this time.
No, I'm never doing it again. Yeah, I mean, I watch more movies than that, but we're going on very long, and I got laundry to get out before I get yelled at.
I'll be damned.
I'll be goddamned.
Is there laundry? Don't you have laundry in your apartment?
No, not in here. There's a room.
Oh.
There's a room. I'm on the very opposite end from where I am, and there is one washer and one dryer.
Oh, okay.
Mind you, only 10 units here, so. But I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy who leaves my shit in there because I've definitely taken people's laundry out after being in there for 3 hours because that's just ridiculous. Moving on, though, final segment that we do every week, What You Listen To, where Gavin and I recommend a song, album, or artist to each other, to you, the audience, what we've been listening to the past week. Gavin, what have you been listening to?
I have been listening to the unfortunately it is like a redo
That's
like a redo of an album. But they released a 10-year anniversary of it, and it is the deluxe 10-year anniversary edition of They Want My Soul by Spoon. And they released demos on the second disc, technically.
There you go.
It shows up on Apple Music like that, but how I said I don't appreciate like live shows. They don't have live shows on this. Like most of the time, whenever someone's like, "Oh, a 10-year anniversary, we're going to release some live shows that we're recording,"
Yeah.
and it's like, great. These are just either sped up or slowed down versions with crowds in between.
Yeah.
And like chatter in the
You
background.
don't like that, but I love that.
I don't. I fucking hate it. It's kind of annoying to listen to, especially with like headphones. It's like, don't feel like I'm there, and something's off every time. I'm like, the guitar is way too loud, bass is too low, keys are too hot.
Sure.
If there's one thing I would do, if there's one thing I would do in another life, it's probably be like an audio person, like
That
more
was
of an audio file.
Same here. I was
like, if I would have done it, I
path.
probably would have done production on audio and stuff like that. But, like that, they released home demos, and he must have Britt Daniel must have some kind of home recording studio. He's fantastic. He does a fantastic job of making even the home demos sound like they're coming out of a fucking studio.
Damn.
I mean, it's incredible.
Because a lot of demos are usually just like an iPhone recording.
Yeah, and that's what
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
one of them technically is, because you can tell there's like a hissing in the background.
Yeah.
Or he's using like a lav mic or something, because you can definitely hear like a mic being moved or like the phone being picked up at the end of it, which is honest to God, like what I would hope he kept that in there, because like this is genuinely a home demo.
Yeah.
This is what they did. It's so fascinating to see the progression of the lyrics throughout these songs and where they ended up. Because you go listening through the whole album, then you get to the demos. So you go through this whole album, and then it's like, here are the demos we had for the album, and seeing the progression of the music, like basically regress, and it goes like the second half is basically like they go really rough, and then to like a more finished version. They have a new stripped down version of Inside Out, and they have like a new like midnight version of what is it, New York Kiss, I think. Or Outlier or something. The whole album is just fucking fantastic. I know it may not be your jam, but it's such a like calming, relaxing album that not only was it so good in 2014, but it just stands alone so well in 2024. It still sounds brand new. They didn't change any of the mastering, I don't think. So I didn't like re-download the album, but I re-downloaded like the demos and stuff like that, or downloaded the demos on my library. So
Yeah,
go
I'll
listen
check it
to
out. I haven't really dipped into Spoon before. Besides
Spoon.
What is it? Is it called The Messenger? Is that what the name of the song is? I don't know what the name of the song is. The one that goes
Oh, The Underdog.
The Underdog. I don't know. I thought it was. Doesn't he say something about the messenger at the beginning? I don't know.
No, he just says, "Picture yourself in a living room."
I guess I always thought he said something about a messenger in that at the beginning.
He does say messenger in there, but I don't know why that's the lyric that sticks out to you there.
Messenger.
Yeah, something like that.
Or maybe say mason jar. I don't know. Hey, what am I listening to?
Carson, what are you listening to this week?
I don't think I've recommended any hardcore or metalcore things in a while.
It's
now.
been, I think, almost 2 weeks.
Not even on purpose. I promise you that. I don't try and change for anybody to a fault sometimes. This week, I am listening to a band called Throne. Possibilities that I have recommended one of these songs before. I don't think so. But they just released their debut album, which is crazy because like some of these songs have like millions of plays, but this is their first album. So I don't know if this band, I don't know anything about this band. I don't know if somebody in it was in another band or something, because for them to have this much popularity already is so bizarre. Like their music videos, 2.1 million views. And their first
Maybe it just comes up. Maybe the algo just really likes them.
I mean, their first single came out in 2021, but they've only released singles. So, anyways, it's their debut album. I'm calling it called Excessive Guilt. And Throne is a really cool hardcore band. They kind of do some mixed media elements of it, like adding in some CDJs, like DJ record stuff. Very reminiscent of like early Slipknot stuff in general, but especially the early, debut Slipknot stuff. It's very heavy. It's really cool. It's also modern still. It doesn't sound like old stuff. They, have some hip hop elements in it. Really cool band, really cool album. I'm going to research more about them because I would love to know why some of these songs have so many plays on it. But this just came out, I think, a week or two ago because I've listened to it quite a bit. Some songs on it that I really like. I really like Dislike. That was a non-album release because they released like the first 4, maybe even 5 songs before the album came out. And those are all great too. But Dislike I really, really enjoyed. So yeah, cool album, really heavy. Interesting listen. That's all I got.
All right.
I am sweating my ass off right now.
Oh, I'm just tired. Well, everybody, thanks for listening to the Exciting All Kinds podcast. Keep watching, keep listening, keep sharing, keep replaying, keep watching, keep commenting, doing whatever you do with it. Continue on with listening to our podcast.
Just keep on keeping on, I guess. See you next week.
What the fuck?